Hello and welcome once again to the show that fuels your appetite for adrenaline and alternative sports. Coming up this week, we're in Holland for stage 3 of the UCI BMX World Cup. Then we spend some time with Paralympic athletes as they give us an insight into their sport and the challenges they face. All that to come, but first we take you to Trentino, Italy for Grand Slalom highlights from the Alpine Rockfest. Fourth time, the picturesque Trentino region in the Italian Dolomites hosts the Alpine Rockfest, a sprint giant slalom extravaganza where some of the world's best skiers race in a winner-takes-it-all event for the largest winning cash prize of €75,000.
The initial idea of the Alpine Rockfest was to create a fun event, an exciting event, using the best gear in the world, and in a very nice environment in the middle of the Dolomites.
Well, the Alpine Rockfest is an invitational race. All right, this is different than anything else going in alpine racing, and it's geared towards the best guys. But you know, it's also who they are, how fun they are, what they're doing, what the results, and we've been now 4 years proving that we can bring forward the best guys.
The Alpine Rockfest is really good for showing the sport in a different manner than just the normal FIS World Cups are. Very much a party atmosphere, you know, there's bands going off in the finish area. You know, the finish area is kind of a party atmosphere as it is, and it's just kind of a more cooler, laid-back feeling than a normal World Cup.
It's a completely different atmosphere. All the riders are in the same hotel. We eat there together in the evenings. We're all really here to have some fun, and there's a different format. A shorter course that takes 30 seconds. It's 3 or 4 runs for the victory, and that's the difference to the World Cup circuit. Well, you need to make the sport more attractive for the young people. At home in the supermarket, it's mainly 50-year-olds who talk to me about skiing, and not so many young people. It's great that there are bands or other acts in between the runs, so it gets a bit more entertaining, less boring. That's why I think the Alpine Rockfest gets it right.
There's good prize money here, and it's a cool title to have. So for that reason, it attracts the guys that are best at this stuff. So it's always gonna be a tough title to take.
Last year was amazing. I surprised myself because I am not the favorite. I won last year, but I'm not the favorite. That is, of course, the favorite. I go in the gate and I try to be my best. Of course, there is Italian people, and I'm happy to be here to defend my title.
There are definitely some top guys here. Ted Ligety, Bode Miller, Simoncelli, Blado. There are definitely some good skiers here.
I would love to win this again. This is it's a fun race to win, and it's a fun, you know, awesome paycheck, great Christmas present. So it's something that I would really look forward to trying to win again.
For me, I expect to beat Ted. I expect to beat Hirscher. Just nobody else expects it. So I go out there tomorrow, excited to show where I'm at, because I think I'm ready to win.
It's race day at the Alpine Rockfest, and at the Athletes Hotel, Bode Miller, Axel Svindal and Ted Ligety set off to make their way to the course, Alpine Rockfest style.
There's definitely a difference between Rockfest and a normal World Cup. You know, of course it's competitive and we still want to win, but there's still not quite the same kind of intensity or nervous energy, I guess, that you'd have at a World Cup. But it's, you know, we're still taking it seriously. We still want to win and ski fast.
I think one of the things that's interesting about skiing is we don't actually compete against each other. I mean, Ted and I, we play some tennis against each other sometimes, and you're actually looking across the net at the other person. You're manipulating where they're going, and you're toying with them. In my case,
we exchange a lot of information. I would say skiing is like that mix of like a sport where you're part of a national team and a professional sport where you're part of your ski company. And I mean, that has to do with us, but it also has to do with our technicians. If they're friends and they trust each other.
Ski racing only happens in the course of a minute or two, you know, so there's tons of time to hang out with everybody around, you know, the finish area in between runs, in the athlete lounges, on the lift rides, and training. So, you know, we spend a ton of time with our competitors, and it's just natural that we become friends, you know.
And so it's race time at the Alpine Rockfest. Defending champion David Simoncelli faces some of the biggest stars in alpine ski racing on his home terrain in Trentino. It's all or nothing on this steep and technical course.
We have a 200-meter vertical drop for a sprint-style GS with 24 gates and a 58% grade. This is a tricky course for these athletes as it's short, every mistake counts.
It's about speed, full gas. For 35 seconds, you can't play around with trying to pace yourself, position your second run or third run start order. You have to go full gas. So we wanted to see people going as hard as they can.
And first up in the gate in the round of 15 is Axel Lund-Svindal, former world and Olympic champion. He takes to the steep course, he's aggressive and he knows he has to charge hard. No big mistake for the strong Norwegian over the jump. He's pushing through the line and sets the mark.
It was all right, but there's guys out there that will be faster, so we'll see.
Next up, Luca de Aliparandi, the winner of the morning's qualifying run. The young 23-year-old Italian really charging. This kid has really got the moves. Second last year at the Rockfest, pushing hard for the finish line. And he steps into second place. In the start gate, Ted Ligeti, Mr. Grand Slalom, definitely the man to beat here. He charges in so smooth, great snow contact. He's pushed a little deep there on the steep section. But safely over the jump, making it look easy. And into first place.
The course is a lot of fun, actually. Like, the snow is soft, but it's really easy to ski on, so it's a lot of fun. And the jump's awesome, so I was pretty happy with how I felt.
Up next is the defending Alpine Rockfest champion David Simoncelli, the local guy charging right from the off. The fans loving him here. Can he do it again? Jumping around, losing some snow contact. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. But he's over the jump, pushing hard to make up for it. And through he goes in fourth position. Philipp Schurgaffer of Austria on course. Charging hard, working those steeps. Can he do it? He's putting his shoulders into it, leaning into every turn. And it's fifth position for the Austrian. Well, the warm conditions today have been making the course a little difficult at times, but Florian Isath on course now. The Italian not appearing disturbed by the conditions. He really wants this race, pushes hard over the jump, cuts the line off, maybe a little too much at the bottom, and into sixth position. Cyprien Richard out of France is in the start gate. He's the winner of the inaugural first Alpine Rockfest back in 2009. Sweet memories of all that cash in the bank. Pushing hard, getting thrown around a little bit on the upper section. The bottom is where you can get it back though. And will Cyprien do it? Seventh position. It's going to be tight for Richard. Well, Bode Miller, the superstar from the USA, is out of the start gate. His podium at the Beaver Creek World Cup shows that he's back and skiing fast, and he wants this one really badly. Pushing the line, charging at the top. The American really going for it here. And he's done it, takes the lead at this point.
I'm excited. It's a great atmosphere. And I think it's really, it's built over the years, so it looks really awesome right now.
Well, short prayer, and the GS specialist from Italy, Max Bardone, takes to the course. He's been talking this one up. He really wants to put this money in the bank. Well, the big Italian pushing. He gets his line pushed a little bit off and low. Can he make up for it over the jump? And it seems he can. Down through this easy flat section. But it's not to be. 8th position for Max. Next up, Krzysztof Kurzy from the Czech Republic. He qualified through the morning round. He's not a top 30 GS skier on the World Cup, but he's a big underdog here, showing if he can do it. He is pushing, really going for it. And that shows you what he can do. Wow, he moves into 6th and he qualifies.
I'm happy because I was surprised because I made a mistake in the middle, so it's perfect time for me.
If you've been involved in ski sport as long as I have, you've seen the rise of free skiing, slopestyle, pipe and park. Now the Olympics are embracing this. Young people are out, they're charging in these new events. And alpine skiing's been going on forever. Ski Race World Cup since '67. So we got to get forward. We got to jump in. We got to like mix it up with these young, cool guys, because ski racing is exciting. It's the original extreme sport.
It's extreme in terms of the demands on the human body. You're dealing with several thousand pounds of force in the turns, but you're so close to the limit. You're most of the time in the final rounds you're going to be way past the comfort zone and the limit. And that's coming from the best guys in the world. So it's as extreme as it gets.
It's a great adrenaline rush. Before we ski a course like this, we've got a lot of training behind us, so we know what to do, and on those days we reinvent ourselves. We ski with our hormones and our adrenaline and simply can't think. And we must ski like an animal that needs to survive.
Comme un animal qui doit s'enfuir et qui doit survivre.
If you have a good run, everything comes at you very quickly, and a lot of things just happen automatically. You just don't have the feeling you need to push really hard, but it's still extremely fast, and that's what makes it exciting.
Dort ist es extrem schnell, das Ganze, und das macht es im Endeffekt auch aus.
The G-forces in the turns are enormous, and that's what makes skiing a pretty complex sport. Every day is different. Every day you have to find a new material that suits the snow and the course. It's not just standing at the start gate, skiing past blue and red gates, and whoever gets down the fastest wins.
Yeah, when you're on course, you have to be right on the limit. That's really the goal. Your hip is on the ground or a millimeter off the ground. Your hand's dragging on the snow. You're, going 45 to 50 to maybe even 60 miles an hour at times, just trying to let my body react to what's happening. And GS gates are coming at you every second basically, so yeah, it gets hectic at times, especially if you're skiing really well, you're skiing really fast, and you're riding that edge. You have no time really to make a mistake, because you one little slip up and you're past the next gate.
And we'll be back in Italy after the break, after which we have BMX action from Holland. And later in the show, we catch up with some Paralympian athletes. See you in a couple of minutes.